Rory, looking forward to the new season?
Yeah, big time. It was quick coming around. We were back maybe. We were off on a team trip there, following on after the Super 11s, away for 10 days, and I think lads were only dying really to get back after that. We didn't really look after ourselves too well on the team holiday. We weren't doing any training or anything. So, the leagues came around very quickly. With obviously Walsh Cup, the final on this Saturday. I know we've been tied with a couple of Fitzgibbon players like any other of the teams, but really looking forward to the new league format as well. Yeah.
Where'd you go for the team holiday? Did you get up to any shenanigans?
Jesus, those shenanigans, yeah. Florida. I went to Florida. No, real family holiday, team parks and the works. You know how it goes.
Rory, I suppose, how do you reflect now on last year's All-Ireland semi-final? What is it, 5 or 6 months out? How do you reflect on that match?
It's dead and buried now. Well forgotten about. Davy's even, we've forgotten about it big time. Davy's forgotten about it, and we're back training just as hard maybe to even get there again, or even get to the next step. I suppose that's the aim for every team when they're starting training in January. So. We won't be thinking too much about last season.
And I appreciate you parking it, but can you take lessons from a game like that? Are there things that you can bring forward for 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one lesson we'll take from the year was, I suppose we've always been, when you play Wexford, you're always in a battle with us, I presume. I suppose, and I think the Leinster final, it was kind of the first time you seen a Wexford team kind of battle hard and then see out a game, and to get over that hurdle was massive for us as a group of players. So obviously the tip game then too, didn't see out the game, and that's another lesson to take from it. When you get to those big games, the game is won in the last 10 minutes of a game. So.
You've experienced it with the Martins coming in as defending champions and how difficult it is to get back to that level again. So there's probably lessons to learn from the club side of things as well, from those lads who are involved in that team.
Massively. We've got John Meyler now this year, a big appointment for the club, massive for us going forward. Very young team. There's been great work done with the club team at the moment. We've 2 senior hurling medals in the last 5 years, I think. Now look, any inter-county manager that takes over a club team, it brings big expectation and hope as well. So he's certainly going to raise the standards even higher, and hopefully we can progress in Wexford again this year.
The club scene now there is fairly interesting with Derek McGrath getting involved as well.
Yeah, massively. It's between rumours and hearing it, and next thing it's announced on Twitter. So between Davy over Wexford and John over us, and now Derek helping out the Harriers, it's definitely bringing a great. It's going to be a great championship to look forward to, and to see how all those teams line out. So
maybe just a final one for me in terms of Dahi Waters gone from the football panel. Was that something that surprised you? You kind of know Dahi somewhat, would you?
Yeah, Dahi's a club player for me. Personally, he was a great influence on me growing up. I think I was 17 when I was playing club hurling when I started, and he was the one to look to. He was one of the older players, and certainly takes young players under the wings. So we're delighted he's back now full time with the club, so he's going to be great for our young lads coming up now.
Would you be surprised to see him gone from the football team? I know obviously you played football at an age level and chose hurling, but in terms of Wexford football getting back to where it might have been a few years ago, that's maybe a disappointing thing to see happening.
I'm not sure. I haven't really been speaking to Dottie about it. The manager has calls to make, so it's not enough to me. So.
Can you tell us much about the 2 lads who've joined the hurling panel from the football panel?
Yeah, it's so obviously I think it was Declan Bonner, the Donegal manager. He was obviously saying that they were short and they had to pull out of a game, a Winter League game. So all these county teams are in similar positions, with Sigerson and Fitzgibbon games clashing. So we were short. I think 10 were playing Fitzgibbon. I think we've 6 injured at the moment. So if you take 16 players off any inter-county team, you're fairly short. So. We needed a few lads for Walsh Cup and even for the panel and to strengthen the panel. So Davy's calling the 2 boys, Mick and Cogs. So it's going to be great assets to training and to the squad. They're idle at the moment, and their fitness levels are at inter-county standards. So they're going to be a great addition.
You just mentioned the club there a while ago. You played Ballyhale, and Ballyhale won that game well enough. What is it that Borrislee are going to be facing this weekend?
What are they going to be facing? Obviously, look, they're defending All-Ireland champions. They're a Kilkenny team. Great hurlers throughout the full 15. So, Boris, even watching them play against the Galway champions, it was phenomenal watching it, and the spirit and even the courage that they showed in club hurling. That could be nearly enough, if they can match them on the day. That kind of spirit can get them over the line. So I seen a couple of things in the news this week, like nearly writing Boris off. I wouldn't be writing him off whatsoever. I think it's really going to go down to the last 5 minutes. And
is it tough to plan for that Ballyhale forward line? You could make an argument that 4 of their 6 attackers will start for Kilkenny next year.
Yeah, it's look, if you're a defender, would you not be relishing the challenge to go out and mark? I always say to club lads at home, if you're ever coming up against inter-county forwards or any inter-county player, would you not relish going out to see where you are or what you can do? And in club hurling, there's you've seen many cases of club defenders really sewing it into inter-county forwards and coming out on top. So I don't think the Boris lads would fear marking any of the lads.
How do you find mixing Fitzgibbon and Wexford at this time of year? Is it tough?
Is it tough? No, it's certainly manageable. Davy's brilliant at it. He obviously trusts whatever players are left within the squad when the Fitz lads are out to look after Wexford duties, and we're delighted that our pre-season could be cut a little bit shorter because we've a few matches to play with the Fitzgibbon, so we're delighted that way. But look, January training isn't supposed to be easy anyway. It's supposed to be tough. You're supposed to get the miles on the legs for the league. So look, it's near an end now anyway. So the league starting is next week. So
you'll be playing into November with St. Martin's playing Ballyhale. So would you have had much of a break at all?
Davy, the lads came back. We went on holidays and Davy brought the lads back in then. I was on the phone to him. I asked for 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, and he was more than happy to. I was a little bit behind the lads now, but we're all back up to the same level now, so it's grand.
Just to go back to John Meyler for a second, was that appointment something that the players wanted? How did it come about? Or?
No, it's so the club is very forward thinking at the moment, and we're very lucky to have great structures within the club. There's a subcommittee that knew that the previous manager's term was up, so they went and searched for lots of candidates for the job. It was left to older members of the club to go and suss out these fellas and ring them and call them and see who we could get, and fully down to the older members of the club sorting that first.
Brendan Bugler has joined the backroom team alongside Davy. What has he brought so far?
Bugs has been brilliant. Himself and Rossi they both would have played in the same. I don't mean era now. Jeez, they'll slag me for saying that, but both would have played against each other back in the day. But yeah, Bugs you can see he's gone through the Davy system, and the way he coaches and the way he thinks about things, and definitely brings his own kind of slant to training as well, and in incorporating drills and stuff like that. And sure, look, we're only delighted. We lost Stephen Malumphey to Waterford this year. Stephen was super to us last year, and obviously he's gone back to his own home county this year. But to bring in a player that's just recently retired it's massive for a team, because it's a lot easier to relate to a player that's just recently retired as opposed to maybe an older fella.
And is he similar to Davy in terms of mindset, seriousness, or is he a bit more laid back?
Jeez, there's no seriousness within training. If you're even to watch training, it's when it's time to work hard, obviously it's time to work hard, but a lot of gatch and a lot of crack, a lot of slagging between maybe not managers but selectors and trainers, like I said, he played under Davy. The philosophy of his game might have changed a little bit since he was last with Davy, but knows how intense training should be and where the standards should be.
Just like him about all the fist pumps throughout his career.
Jeez, I've no one to really say much about that. No.
One question, about the yellow slitters coming in next year, the smart ball with the chip in it. Do you care one way or another about the yellow slitter?
Look, it doesn't bother me at all. I just like the way the hurling. The rules of hurling aren't changing much whatsoever, and I appreciate that a lot. Look at the poor footballers there. They nearly have to check the rule book to start a new season, and it's surely frustrating. You have to practice new things. But as opposed to the slitter, I think it only matters if you're playing in snow or back in winter tournaments if you need it to be a little bit brighter. But sure, look, you shouldn't be playing hurling in the snow anyway. That'd be my opinion. So,
looking forward to the league this year. Like last year, it kind of felt like because of the change in the provincial championships, in the last 2 years, it doesn't matter so much the league anymore, that it's just there to get games under your belt. Do you see much value in winning the league?
I do. I see the league as certainly a chance to play your full squad. I think Davy was even saying to us that he was, to start the first few years to get us up to Division 1 hurling and to compete with the top teams, he might have been restricted to play his best 18 or 19 players, but now like we've a squad there that you could play. I think last year we were missing, you could say, 8 household names off a league team, and we bet tip by a point, so it doesn't really matter as long as everyone gets game time, because ultimately you want to be able to trust subs to come on in championship hurling that have got experience, that mightn't be in a championship team if you're starting 15 for the majority of the championship, but you have subs coming on that have experience through the league that can make a difference in those 10 minutes, just like the tip forwards throughout the summer.
Did Andrew Shore only just come back recently?
Yeah, Shore's in with us this year. Sitting beside me in the dressing room, mountain of a man. He's definitely 7 foot or whatever, but great outlet for us going forward. Wherever we'll play him, high ball. It's something even the forwards. We have Chin, we've Jacko. Great high ball winners, Mac too, but another selection for Davy, and for even another turn for teams to have to look after.
Because he was wing back mainly under Liam Dunn. I can't remember if he was there to start with Davy. But he was named at full forward the other day. So can he play both positions?
Yeah, well, that's Davy's trying him, and this is where you try players, and Davy's certainly tried him in full forward to see if the route one ball works, because he's definitely a presence up there, and then obviously an outlet, a wing back too. So wherever he plays for Wexford, he's going to be massive, and I think he was missing for 2 years, so it's not too long. So he's quickly back into the run of things. Anyway.
You were looking forward to the change in format with Division 1 this year. What difference do you think it'll make?
The league?
Yeah.
Any difference? No, I don't think there's much of a difference. There's just, I suppose, it incorporates many more teams, or more teams in the league, which is brilliant for Wexford and promotion, or for hurling, sorry, and for the promotion of hurling. Like Westmeath they're not in our division, they're in the other division. We've Laois in the first match now, so we were in those positions 2 years ago when we were trying to get a scalp off big teams. So it's super for them, and for them progressing up in the next couple of years.
Consideration for you, the promotion of hurling outside of say the big 8 counties or whatever, yeah?
Well, yeah, it's massive, because we've come from a position where throughout the when was it, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, we got one big win, and it was done enough. Now thankfully we've great supporters that will always stick by us, but we do remember being in a position where we weren't competing, and now we are, and we're thankful of getting the opportunity to play these teams. So when we were in 1B, there was always 2 very good teams. I think Galway and Limerick were there for a couple of years in 1B, and they went on to win All Ireland. So even getting those matches early on in the league meant a lot going into the championship. So I think it's a great idea.
Eddie Brennan would love a scalp, obviously. He saw what he did to Dublin last year. He'd love a scalp in Port in the first night.
Absolutely, it's the one that Davy's driving at to us in training every night. Not looking by the first match whatsoever. Like Laois in O'More Park. If you ever want to get points in the league, if Laois were there, Wexford Park at home, or Wexford at home in O'More Park, so they're definitely going to be eyeballing that game, and we certainly have our eyes fixed on it too.
And I know you were talking to Shane about getting players back and seeing players in the league and having that chance, but also it's a title that Wexford haven't won, I think, since '73. So it was never a bad time to win a competition, I suppose.
Absolutely, the league. You always look. Everyone sets out to have a good league. Look, we got the most out of the league last year, and we only got to a quarter final. The year before we got to a semi-final, but last year we played maybe, I think, 27 players, so that was the positive we've seen from it. But I know when it gets to maybe the knockout stage, that's when you kind of think, all right, maybe we can maybe win this. That's when it gets closer to kind of championship hurling. But look, we're looking forward to a league where everyone will get game time, and really eyeing up Laois and O'More Park on Saturday.
Thanks for watching Our Game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.